I'm halfway through my spell in Birmingham, and the last call on my shift with Lee and Emma was a dramatic example of these crew skills whilst under extraordinary pressure. So, before I start my next shift in the city, I want to find out how these men and women unwind. Now, I thought by arranging to meet them, I might end up at the pub, you know, have a few pints. Turns out that they go climbing just round the corner from the ambulance station. Climbing. How was that relaxing? I really shouldn't have expected any less from Gary and Greg Smith, a crew who I got to know last time I was in Birmingham. When he's not halfway up a wall, 45-year-old Gary is a technician who's been with the ambulance service for 5 years. And his partner, 30-year-old Greg, is a fully qualified paramedic. He's been with the ambulance service for 10 years. That night shift I spent with these two was one of the darkest, strangest nights of my life. So strange, we had to laugh.
Who's going to go up next?
So it's a nice change to be off duty with Gary and Greg, who are joined today by their regular climbing buddy and colleague, Amanda. I'm finding it quite strange to see you without your uniforms on, in normal civilian gear. You know, it's a superhero's uniform.
Oh, absolutely.
Only when he has his pants up so he distributes us.
My cape's at the dry cleaners.
That was nervous laughter.
OK.
Before I became a mum, I was a bit of a daredevil, but now I'm the opposite. And on top of that, I'm genuinely scared of heights.
How do I go up first? I don't even know where to start. All right.
I can't believe Gary and Greg have got me climbing a wall.
Left foot up by your left knee. Oh, all right, OK.
These guys do 12-hour shifts, 4 days in a row. I'd want to chill out after all that stress.
You could do is swapping your feet over, Angela.
This is hard work.
I can't do that.
Just hop. That's it. Go on.
At least if I did fall, I'd be in safe hands.
OK.
It's all very well reaching the top, but what goes up?
I've got to go back down.
That's it, just lean back, lean.
Don't think about it. Don't think about it.
Feet flat on the wall.
I did it. I touched it. Oh, God, honestly, it's like...
this time.
I am smiling.
You enjoy that,
Do you know what? I did enjoy it. It's still not relaxing. No. There is still... Whatever you say, there is still absolutely nothing... Oh, actually, hang on. I've forgotten about stuff, because all I'm doing is concentrating on where I'm going to put my hands and where I'm going to put my feet. So I suppose actually...
You don't have time to think about anything else.
Yeah, it makes you concentrate your thinking, doesn't it? Yeah, do you know what? I enjoyed it. I really like that. In fact, I may even do it again. Right, that's the so-called fun over with. Time to get back to work. Today I'm going out in Gary and Greg's ambulance, but we are also following another crew who perform a very different role. That crew is 33-year-old James Williams. He's an incident support officer who's been with the ambulance service for 9 years. Now, I won't be riding along with James this time, but having experienced his driving style before, I can't say I'm disappointed.
Hiya.
Hi, you're right.
Yeah, I'm very well, thank you very much. James, you have a...
I have Les with me, who's an immediate care nurse, who's out to play today for a few hours.
Oh, interesting. So what will that bring to your shift then, having the pet?
Just some extra skill. If they're required, he's able to step in.
Great. Doubly equipped. Well, we're doubly equipped as well, because I'm going out with Gary and Greg, so we're on the back of a truck. But obviously, if we get called out to anything major...
We'll beat you there.
Yeah, you will beat us there as well with your driving. How do you find his driving?
Steady.
Steady, safe, and within the confines.
It's as per the guidelines.
Obviously, always
well
sticking
put.
to those guidelines. All right, well, have a good one, and I hope I do see you later on.
OK, see you later.
Bye, have fun.
See ya.
37-year-old Les Young is an immediate care nurse and has been assisting the ambulance service for 5 years. Les has 12 years of frontline emergency care experience. His advanced training, combined with James and his fast response car, mean they're a real emergency dream team, and they've taken their first call. The report is that someone has collapsed in the street.
Could be anything. Could be epilepsy, could be an alcoholic seizure.
For now, there are no more details, but as an ISO, James is well used to being ready for just about anything. As I found out when I spent a shift with him during my time in Birmingham. As incident support officer, James got called to all major incidents in the area.
2 patients, 1 female with a head injury.
He coordinated crews at everything from major car crashes to a bank robbery.
It's job after job after job.
It was really...
We've not had a cup of tea yet.
As darkness fell, the day became even more intense and the real adrenaline kicked in.
That's really, really disturbed me.
It's time for him to swing into action as they reach the scene of their call-out. As so often happens with an incident in a public space, there are bystanders who've been helping out.
Brilliant.
This time, 2 ladies who've been looking after the man since he collapsed.
Yeah, we'll sort it out, yeah. OK, that's brilliant. Thank you. OK, thanks very much.
Les gets to work, and it turns out the patient was once a male nurse himself and knows the routine.
We're just going to take your blood sugar. OK.
6.8.
That's absolutely fine. That's all right. Good. So we'll just do your observations. So if you have any heart problems, fine.
All right, mate.
Diabetes.
Yes, I'm a diabetic.
So you're diabetic and you've also got epilepsy.
Yeah.
Have you had any headaches or anything since you've fallen?
100% sacked. Blood pressure's on.
An ambulance is on its way,
Whiskey Bravo 777.
but ever-diligent James checks on its progress.
Thank you. ETA for the crew, please, over. Yeah. Yeah, that was good timing. They've just turned up. Thank you. I'll just get the stretcher ready, Les, all right?
This time, rather than the West Midlands service who I've been riding with, it's a St John's ambulance that's arrived.
Are you happy with that? You're happy for us to take you there and treat you?
At times of high demand, St John's Ambulance are enlisted as backup to the main ambulance service to help out in less critical cases like this. Their volunteers provide support as and when it's needed.
OK, basically, this gentleman has told Les that he's fallen in the street, that there's no fit, however, he is an epileptic and a diabetic patient.
Go on 3 then. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
There you go.
Hold on.
Onto that bed there, young man.
I'm still shaking.
Checks his diabetes and that appears to be normal. But he has some bruising on his face there, it's potentially old. So he may have fallen recently and perhaps have maybe a little bleed or something in his brain. So I'm going to get the crew to run him up to A&E just for a check over. We'll get him out of the cold and do a full assessment on the back of the ambulance and take it from there.
With the retired nurse's older head injury possibly the cause of this collapse, Les needs to carry out a thorough examination in the back of the well-equipped and warm St John's ambulance. Across town and nearer the centre of Birmingham, I'm in the back of Gary and Greg's ambulance. They're back in uniform and we've been given a job.
We're going to an ice rink where there's a 16-year-old female who's taken a tumble on the ice, and they're querying a fractured ankle. But there's a possibility that she might still be on the ice. What are you going to do if she is on the ice?
We'll just lasso her and pull her off.
Lasso her.
OK, let's. We've got some really small snow socks for the stretcher, so we can always fit those on.
So we're a couple of minutes away at the moment. We're getting right into the city centre to a place called Leisure Box.
Back in the St John's ambulance, Les is leaving nothing to chance.
Just want to look straight ahead for us.
And he's checking the retired nurse's vital functions.
Yeah, that's
Well done.
5+, both of them.
His reflexes are perfect. Now Les wants to know how well his heart is functioning, but they'll need smooth skin to attach the sensors.
Yeah. We're going to have to shave your chest. Is that okay?
Can I have a trim?
Yeah.
I ain't used to shaving chests, you see.
Do you just let your chest hair grow naturally then, do you?
Yeah.
I wasn't talking to you, mate.
Well, you still got your sense of humour, so that's
a good thing.
That's a good thing.
It's all right, isn't it? All the wiggles are in the right places.
With collapsed
Good news.
pulmonary causes, I'd quite like you to get checked out in hospital, especially because you've had a recent head injury.
It's always better to be safe, so Les sends the retired nurse back to his old stomping ground.
It's only round to the city hospital. All right.
Oh, around there.
Yeah.
See you later, guys.
While St John's take over this case for Les and James, it's on to the next. Coming up, the duo race across town straight into car crash confusion.
The chap in there was in the other car?
No, he's on this car on the dip.
And Greg and Gary are called to an emergency on the ice.
All right. You're going to have to take this one off, all right.